Welcome to Gradeup. I hope you all have started your preparation for Civil Services 2021 exam. Guys, the future belongs to those who prepare for preparation. We have Mr. Shekhar Khaitan with us. He has cleared sir how he prepared for Civil Services exam himself, and he will also share with us some tips and tricks and guys a 6-month preparation strategy for IAS 2021. So, sir, please tell us something about your educational background.
Rohanji, I did my graduation from Kirodimal College, Delhi University, in BSc Statistics Honors. And before that, my education has spanned three states, Jharkhand, Bihar, and Delhi, till class 12. Post that, just after giving exams in my third year, I started preparation for civil services. Because my parents, since my childhood, wanted me to be a civil servant, seeing the vagaries of administration in a small village of Bhagalpur district. So that pushed me, in a sense, I was motivated to do this. But I found it was difficult to manage both my studies because it was a science stream. My college timings were 8:40 to 5 p.m. And then doing your self-studies or some bit of coaching. And in 2007, negative marking was introduced. So that was my first attempt.
Okay.
So I said, okay, let's fill up the jo bhi tayari hai, I would sit for the exam and give it a try. So my attempts were good, but then I attempted more than what was required, which resulted in me not clearing in the first attempt. But since it was just a trial kind of thing for me, I just went ahead. And post that, I would say from 2007 onwards, I started seriously preparing for civil services. And side by side, I was doing my own studies for post-graduation in statistics. And in order to support myself, I was taking tuitions for students of 11, 12, which not only helped me support myself financially, but also help in preparation for CSAT kind of thing. Because then the pattern was changing and it kept me aware about what was new in science, tech. So it was it provided me a satisfaction as well. So I would say one should keep oneself engaged even while preparing. If somebody is professionally qualified, he should go for a part-time kind of job, which would later help him in his interview in order to justify that he's not just sitting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can always take a 6 to 8 months hiatus in between, but always good to have something substantial with you while you are passing through this process.
So, sir, when did you decided to start your preparation, and when did you seriously start your preparation? Means you are totally into the fifth gear for your preparation.
I would say in 2006, I was in my third year. So in the later half, I started preparation seriously in the sense reading the NCRT books,
Okay.
whatever the basic things people suggested at that time to cover, which is still necessary, I would say. NCRTs of 11, 12 or 9, 10 for geography, civics, science and tech. And I was also interested in philosophy kind of thing, sociology, so that could add on to my essay paper. Essay was substantial at that time. It was 200. Later on, it became, I think now it's 250 or 275.
Yeah, it's 250, sir. No issues. Sir, what are the challenges that you face, in between your preparation?
I would say, ideally, civil services preparation should start, I would say, from class 11th or first year of graduation onwards. Should be aware about current affairs and have a habit of reading newspapers. That would really push you into the front. Though 5 lakh people appear for the exams, or 5 to 9 lakhs. But the serious competition is with 50,000 to 1 lakh people who are preparing since some years or who are motivated since their childhood or growing up teenage years. So in order to like have an edge, you should always, I would say, listen to news half an hour, maybe Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha TV news or DD1 news. I think that's the best till now. And then second thing is do all the basic studies. Like even though you would have been an excellent student or an average student in your school times, but it's always good to revise certain things and read anything like history, which is like kind of bit dry for most people, as a storybook, so that you get used to what has happened in the past and what we can learn. Art and architecture, during our times, Nikhil Singhania had not come in the, like he had not cleared, so the his notes were not there. But now I think his notes people use a lot.
He has a book now, sir.
Yes, but then class 11th NCRT of arts and I think arts, some fine arts, that book is good, art and culture. So I relied on that.
Okay.
Similarly, Gochi Leong in geography.
Yes, sir.
And Uma Kapila for economics, Indian economics.
Okay.
I read certain other basic books which interested me. I read like Freedom at Midnight by John Lapierre. Books, though written in a kind of novel form, it gives you an idea. And then we have Kapil Basu or D.D. Basu and all those other writers, different writers. So there's no dearth of material which is freely available online or on Wikipedia, but like students should cultivate an interest to read more and more. There should be an extensive reading. I would say like 6 months before the pre, you should start extensive reading. Do it for 2 or 3 months. Try to cover your GS syllabus, your optionals, so that just 2 months before the prelims, you can revise more and more on GS thing, because prelims is objective.
Yes, sir.
GS, as everybody knows, in mains it's subjective. You have to write, but if your preparation is ready before start of prelims, you will do even good in objective, because now it has become more analytical. If you see the recent question papers, last 5 years.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Sir, tell us something about your CSE interview, your interview that you gave.
Oh, good. My interview, it was on the first day of the interview, like when it started. So I got like, I would say a time of 15 days for preparation. And it was though a difficult time personally because I had lost my aunt. But then I was supported by some of my seniors who had already cleared civils, and I was fortunate enough to receive their help. And my interview board was headed by E. Balaguruswamy, who was a prolific writer. And though I was a bit nervous, it was in the second half, but the board made me comfortable. It was not a stress interview, but they asked in the starting, as far as I remember, factual questions. Then they went towards analytical. And it was a good mix. I had one lady officer and like 4 gentlemen there. So I think that it was a mix of both civil servants and some well-read people who come from academia background. And the questions were not only related to my hobbies, whatever I've studied since my childhood days, especially focusing on my graduation, and then what is happening in society, in polity. Since I belong to Bihar, the government had changed then. So what was the progress seen in the last 5 years vis-a-vis the earlier regime? And what are the challenges I see in India, and how, as an administrator, I would like to overcome them? And then E. Balaguruswamy's boards were very innovative. They asked the candidate to pose a question to them that they think is very relevant. And so I think I remember asking question about the education system in India, why we could not have something like America, where like a person who's interested in learning arts and science can merge and mix all his subjects and go for it. So I think it was liked by the board. And then I got a pretty good number, well, more than 200 in my interview. So like when I gave the interview, I was like a bit happy. Maybe I can clear.
So, sir, please just tell us about the optional, sir, because I know at that time there were two optionals. So
Yes.
how did you go with your optionals and how you prepared for your optionals? Because this is a, most asked questions in the comment box. People are asking about how you prepared for your optional.
Okay. See, I had statistics as my own subject, so no coaching was available. So I prepared it myself. And I used the notes of my seniors who had prepared for civil services. That was one thing. Second, my optional was public administration. So one of my known had started his, he started teaching. So I joined him saying, since I have not dealt with public administration as a subject any time in between, I would like to read. And then he assisted me in knowing the subject, the intricacies. So it was a learning experience, reading the bare act constitution. It was the first time in my life that I had laid my hands on constitution and read it. And then we had at that time 2 papers of GS and two optionals which had 2 subparts each. So it was difficult in balancing everything at one go. But what I used to do is divide like 4 hours each. 4 hours for my GS, 4 hours for my statistics, and 4 hours for the optional public administration. So like for 5 days, I would try to juggle in between these 3 subjects. And like on Saturdays and Sundays, I would try to write the answers, the subjective answers, and give time tests in PT format, like 3 months before the PT. I started giving tests, so that helped me improve. So I would suggest like anybody who's going for preparation, he should see the last 5-year question papers, both of PT as well as mains, and then see the syllabus, what is prescribed by UPSC. And then even without coaching, if one is sensible enough, one is hardworking and is able to use whatever is there in open public media on the internet, he can go and prepare. But coaching gives you an edge because you become more disciplined. You come in touch with students who are there across, and then you get to know what is the real kind of fight you have to entail.
Yes, sir.
What is the real competition? So that's the positives of coaching. But like it's like not impossible without coaching for any person to do it. It's always possible, and we have seen like very good rankers even in last recent years who have done it without coaching.
So, sir, prelims exam will take place on 27th June 2021. With more than 6 months left, sir, for the exam, what advice would you give to our aspirants, and what is that they should keep in mind during their preparation?
See, I would lay my stress on taking the mock tests. Because when you are taking the mock tests, you get to know what is lacking in you, where is your understanding lacking, and whether you are able to correlate whatever you are studying. So people should start from first month itself. Like now 6 months are there, so there is sufficient time, but like one should start. If anybody is listening to this, he should start. If he's thinking of going to civil service, he should start his preparation now, I would say. Because you should not waste time. The competition has become tougher. The students have become very clever. They are well read, and like I would see, I can say like now around 50 to 60% people who clear civil services are professionally qualified. They are engineers or doctors or something. So you have to compete with those people. So you should start your preparation, focus on mock answers, and then try to cover your syllabus next 3 to 4 months. And you should not only focus on PT. You should try to write answers of mains as well. That will not only increase your writing speed, it will help you correlate different things and revise have a schedule. Like on this day, I would study this. In a week, I have to cover this much chapter. And then after every week, like after 6 days of studies, on the 7th day, revise whatever you have studied in 6 days. That will help you recapitulate whatever you have studied. If there are any doubts, please ask your teachers or your colleagues who have already like prepared for it or who are preparing, so that you solve the things. Don't keep it for the last, and try to make your notes which are handy at the time of revision. This, I would say, note making is very, very important, because at the time of mains, you have just a day or two for revising your subjects. So that helps you a lot. So these 2 things I would stress upon.
So there is a question coming that the people are asking that if they are starting their preparation now, means they are starting and they are planning to give this exam in 2022 or 2023, how should they start their preparation? What is the first thing that they should do?
First thing is go on the UPSC website and see the syllabus and
Yes.
choose your optional well, because optional still has a good amount of marks, 500. So choosing your optional, seeing the syllabus and seeing the last 5-year question papers, that would help you decide even the optional. And optional should be decided on basis of interest. Whatever interests you, you should go for that instead of saying like where more public is going. Maybe people take public administration, psychology, sociology, geography. But if your interest lies in maths or physics or electrical engineering or any kind of such subject, you should go for that.
Fine. Sir, next question is, sir, when should a person who is preparing for civil services exam, he should change his gear totally into prelims mode? How much time before prelims?
I would say 1.5 months is okay. 1.5 months before prelims, he should focus on prelims, mock tests like every week or maybe every alternate day, and then stop everything 2 weeks before prelims and just focus on revising.
Fine.
So that's the strategy I've like followed, and I've cleared, like I've given more than 5 or 6 exams and I cleared all the prelims except the first.
Yes, sir. Nice. Sir, and this question is also very popular. The people are asking that should the preparation of prelims and mains, they should be done, combined, or they should be done separately, or how should we, separate this preparation? What should be the strategy here?
I think, see, you do not need a separate preparation for prelims except the revision part. It has to be combined because conceptual clarity is needed even for prelims now. If you see the last like 5 years question papers of science, tech, or history, or social studies, polity, all those things, you need to have conceptual clarity. And though many times it's factual, like suppose I get a question like, if my constitution has to be amended, like how many parliamentarians need to approve the bill? Is it 3/4 present and voting, or 3/4 of the sanction strength of the house? And then it has to be passed by like half of the legislature of the states. So like these are certain confusing questions. So you have to keep on revising. But I would say like preparation has to be combined, mains and PT. And then like 1.5 months, you should just focus on your prelims.
Prelims. Fine.
Try to cover the syllabus 1.5 to 2 months before prelims for everything.
Okay, sir, one more question. When should one start their answer writing practice for the mains exam? And how should it be approached, the answer writing thing, sir?
I think you should start answer writing from the first week of your preparation. Pick up any of the question, whatever you are studying, what you feel is relevant, and you can try to attempt that and see like how much you are able to write and how much time, because nowadays question papers are along with the answer sheet, like there is no separate question paper and answer sheets. So you have a given space and then given word limit. And I think you should try to write your answers within that word limit. We have seen negative markings for people who exceed the word limits. So every week you should write for mains. Once you start the preparation, like 2 months before the PT, you should stop like subjective answer writings. But just after you give your PT exams and you want to take a break of a week, post that you should start it daily onwards, I would say. If you think that your probability of getting selected in PT is good, you should start it. Answer writing is one thing which will ensure that you get a good rank.
Yes.
So it's very important.
Fine. So, how should the aspirants prepare for the interview? As it is said that, sir, personality is not built overnight. And according to you, when is the right time to prepare for this, personality test, the interview? Because many people are asking this question now.
See, yes, personality cannot be changed over a period of like a fortnight or a month or 2 months. It can just be honed up a bit. So personality you will have to develop during the preparation stage, and personality has already developed for most of the students or the aspirants like over 20 years of their life, 21, 22 years of their life. So what they should focus upon is maintaining their health while preparation, having a wider, I would say, attitude of looking at different things. And then they should try to follow some hobbies also that would not only relieve the stress while preparing. Like my hobby was reading novels or watching movies. So even like when I was in the thick of exams, I would just sort out some time, like 1 hour, 2 hour or 3 hours. I would watch a movie or read a fiction novel or something. So that will cheer me up. So I would say instead of like discovering their hobbies just before interviews, people should really have a hobby, because that would help you later on in life also, if you get selected or otherwise as well. So, and you should keep on discussing with your colleagues, whoever is preparing, on important issues which come up. There are many debatable issues which come up during interviews. So like it has to be developed over a period of time. And once you get selected for mains, you have like all the time in the world to focus on yourself.
Sir, one more question. Sir, mental preparation is equally important. Sir, how you were self-motivated during your preparation? What were the sources of your motivation and inspiration?
My inspiration were my parents, I would say, because I have seen how much hard work they have done to support me while I was studying in Delhi. How much they wanted me to clear the exams. First of all, that, and then some of my cousins have cleared the exams like 2 years back. They were also a great support for me. And third thing is, I also wanted to prove my method. Like while preparing for civil services, I gave exam of CAT. I had like got admission into different MBA programs as well. But then even then, I was not sure whether I wanted to do MBA. So I withdrew my candidature from there, and then I went and took a risk and joined like the preparation. Even while after preparing, after giving my second attempt, in which I was a bit unlucky that I reached the center 10 minutes late and I wasn't allowed to give my mains paper. Like it was my final paper. So it broke my heart. I thought my 1 year had got waste, and that was like due to certain unforeseen circumstances on that day. So it really broke my heart, and I said, oh, I would never give the UPSC exam. Then I joined as bank PO. I gave and I started working. Then like my parents suggested, okay, you please try once again, because we feel that you have it in you. Gave me motivation. I gave my exams again, and then I got selected finally. So I would say, have belief in yourself, be diligent, be consistent. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एक दिन तो 10 घंटे पढ़ लें, दूसरे दिन 3 घंटे. Like even if you study for 7 to 8 hours a day continuously over a period of say suppose 6 months, I can say if a person is like even average but is focused and sincere in studies, he can easily compete with the best.
Nice. Sir, next thing is like people are asking right now, like how you dealt with your mood swings and how you are able to keep yourself stable during the preparation.
I would say like long walks in the park helped me a lot.
Okay.
Whenever I had mood swings, whenever I felt low, I spoke to people who really loved me, from whom I could get positive vibes. And I tried to, like, I would say, devote my time towards hobby. And whenever I felt that I am fed up of the studies, I would give them up for a period of 2 or 3 days, do whatever I wanted to do, enjoy the life. And then a feeling of guilt came in, like, everybody is working so hard for you to clear civil services, and here you're enjoying yourself. So, but you can allow those 2 or 3 days of breaks in between, like after every 20 days, 15 days, or whenever you feel like. Take breaks and then again become sincere in your studies. Compensate that time lost. So, like, always have a target that you have to give your best. Results don't matter. I would say matter in a sense that if you're working really hard, if you're sincere, I would say like 90% time you will get the result. and the attempt in which you feel that you have given your best, in that attempt, I've seen most of the candidates clearing it. So it's your own inner voice which would predict whether you are going to clear the exam. So give 100%, even if you are unable to clear any exam of civil services, you will land somewhere good in your life.
Yes, sir. Sir, next question is, sir, you told us that you joined as a SBI PO. So, sir, how do you balance your work life with your study life?
I would say like bank job is a bit stressful. So it was like a kind of 9 to 7 job. But after coming back, I would study for 2 hours and I would try to like always brush up the newspapers, be it Indian Express or Hindu. Choose whatever paper you like. But these are like two of the good papers which I still feel maintain a sense of balance somehow. So reading newspapers and then focusing on my weak areas. Wherever I felt I don't know the subject, I would go on Wikipedia, read about it, or talk to somebody and understand what is the concept behind it. That helped me. And on Sundays, because Saturdays banks were working those days, on Sundays I used to devote my time. And like 2 weeks before PT, I took leave from bank and like dedicated like 12 to 13 hours every day for those 2 weeks, revised my whole syllabus because I had my notes made in the previous year, which mean faster revision. So note making is very important that ways. And then by God's grace, I could clear it.
Yes. Sir, second question is coming that how important is NCRT and how should you approach NCRT, sir?
I would say like, first of all, you should give NCRT a reading as a storybook. In your first reading, many a times, like for history or civics, certain things, you will feel okay, disinterested. But when you read it as a story, you will feel, oh, I had never read this, or I have forgotten while studied this in my like when you were in elementary or like school level thing. And then second time when you go for a reading, try to underline the things which you feel are important, the concepts, just underline those important words, which will help you remember them. So this is like, I did the NCRT reading thrice. Like first time it took me a month, second time it took me 15 days, third time it took me 3 days to revise like important key terms. This helps you remember things and then prepare in a nutshell everything. And then now we have different books which have been written for like modern history and other things. So that is also a concise, it gives a packed NCRT for at least history. I think it's a He's book or something like that, written by an IPS, Spectrums.
Yes.
So like Spectrum, and there are like many books which are available in the market. But NCRT is a must because it's authentic, first of all, and it's there in studies and it's cheap, it's easily available. Online PDF formats are available, so anybody can read it. So I would always advise for going for them.
Sir, next is, sir, please shed some light on note taking. You are saying that note making is a very important process. So yeah, how the student should make notes and how should they arrange their notes so that their notes are very efficient and they can revise properly before the exam.
See, note making, you will have to distinguish between notes you are making based on newspapers and notes which you are making for your optionals or GS. Because in newspaper, one sees a topic is covered now and then maybe later on after 3 months. So maybe you can divide it into like India and the world. What are the social policies which are being made in India by the government or anything, and then international relations. And there's something which is on economics. So like these are 4 important, I would say, subtopics. And then write in any article, even in editorials or any news, you will not find more than 3 or 4 points. So maybe you just jot it down so that there is a recollection value with the date and keep that newspaper preserved. Like earlier days, we used to keep the newspaper preserved, but nowadays you can always go on Google and search it out.
Yes, sir.
Just write the date. So if you're confused or if you're forgetting something, you can always revisit it. I think in a copy of like, you can do it for 3-4 months, then you'll get a hang of how to do it well and how you can go from the past into the future for newspaper notes, I'm saying. And for your optionals, Also, writing the keywords is important. Conceptual clarity is needed. For that, you will need to read basic books, whatever is there for subjects. And then just like maybe 2 or 3 lines, you can describe the concept and then write the keywords. And if you are using mains question paper in the last 5 years for your answer writing practice, you will get to know which are the important sections or which are the important writers or thinkers which you need to study in case of sociology or public administration.
Sir, second question is related to this only because nowadays there are many tools to make notes. For example, Evernote is there, Color Note is there. So, sir, the student should go with the offline mode of making notes or the online mode of making notes?
I would say like whatever the student is comfortable with.
Fine.
Be it offline or online, doesn't matter. And I would say online, it's easily accessible across your mobile or laptop. And you don't have to write a lot. But sometimes offline would help you in a sense that answer writing is not online in UPSC. Yes. So you need speed, you need accuracy. So writing answers and making notes will help you offline more. But online is equally good.
Sir, one question is coming, sir. What were the areas in which you faced problem? In which, like, for example, history, geography, which area you think, you have to put in more?
Okay.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think geography was a difficult subject for me.
Okay.
And so I had to revise it quite often. Science was okay because I was a science student till class 12. And I liked economics and I've studied it 12, so it was easy for me. International relations, since I have not seen the nuances of international relations anywhere like earlier. So it helped me understand like what can be the different factors in which we see the international relations. And then the website of Foreign Ministry, it comes out with kind of concise notes on international relations. So you can always see for the countries which have been in news in the last 8 months or 9 months, you can always visit the website and check like what are the important news items or where our PM or president have visited, or any such country. Like for our neighbors, China is always important, or our Asian partners because economic cooperation is there, or European Union, and then US being a superpower kind of thing, Russia. So all these nations are important every year. So you need to cover them. Then there are small countries like of Latin America or Africa, where India has taken some good policy initiative, which is either using its software or something. So you should try to cover those things.
Sir, one more question is coming, like how you have approached economics, because economics is not a static subject. And
yeah, economics is not.
Yeah.
It is not a static subject. So I would first, I would again suggest go for 11th, 12th economics. Macroeconomics of 12th is good. If you are facing difficulty in microeconomics, you can just have a cursory glance on the topics, leave the mathematical portion, but at least try to take in the concepts. And then reading newspapers, articles by certain economists, or even Frontline. I used to read Frontline magazine. And then getting to know like terms like repo rate, CRR, or nowadays bank is doing so much of in order to find the NPAs, it is taking so many different measures. So you have to have a keen interest and you need to read it. Maybe sometimes in the first reading, you may find it difficult. So write down which are the important terms which gives you some issues or problems. Use those terms, search it on Google, Wikipedia, read it, or if you have notes of coaching available. So basics will always help. If you have a basic clarity of what is national income, GDP, and all those things, and they are always in news every fortnight or every month, our CPI index news would be there in the newspaper. So your brain becomes attuned to reading those news, see the graphs, and tell to your mind that yes, economics is interesting. It's not difficult. So it will become easy for you. But you have to be, I would say, consistent in your efforts in understanding it. And economics is what is running the whole world as of now. Like if you are economic superpower, everybody would listen to you. Similarly, in administration, when you come, if you have finances, you are able to execute almost all the policies of the government. So economics is important, and it's good if you get an interest early starting.
Sir, one more question is, which magazine you referred to? Magazines, and some. If you,
In my times, I used to read Yojana,
mm-hmm.
Frontline.
Mm-hmm.
These were the monthly magazines I used to refer to. And then Bharat or India, which used to come out like in January or February by the government of India, and then economic survey just before the budget. Because I found economic survey very interesting, and many questions in prelims came from economic survey. Even in mains, certain questions like the boxes are very important because it gives unique concepts, and it tells about like first 2 or 3 chapters of economic survey tells in a nutshell what is Indian economy is. And then you can always use any of the like good publications, monthly, I would say, magazine, which gives you a summary of GS, which is like, I would say, 1 month back. So more than that, I don't think you need any other magazine. But if somebody is like too much interested, he can go for economist. It's a kind of difficult read at the start, but once you get a hang of things, it's like easily explains a lot of things and international relationship as well.
Okay, sir. And what about newspapers? How did you make notes out of it? People are asking. This is a hot favorite questions. They are asking which newspaper did you refer? Do we have to refer all the newspaper like Indian Express, Hindu, and everything? Or
No,
and sir, one more question related to this is, sir, while making notes, you are reading paper daily. So can you skip paper reading altogether and move directly to the monthly magazines that many coaching institutes they publish? What should be the strategy, or you should read both the newspaper and the magazines?
I would suggest, like, I belong to a traditional school. So I would say like reading newspaper is a must. Even if you have your coaching material available, but reading newspaper helps you get a better clarity, because maybe you can clear the exams reading the coaching material, but going forward while you're working in the field, you will have to read newspapers, get your news, get your information or intelligence output from. So read the newspapers, and in the newspapers, everything is not important. Focus on what is relevant for your exams. Take those topics, read them, and find out 2 or 3 key points from the articles and jot them down. And once you read the newspapers and then you read whatever material is there or your magazine, it would be kind of revision, which will help you. So I don't think skipping newspaper is a good thing. And go for anyone like Hindu or Indian Express, whichever you find interesting.
So guys, see, the newspaper cannot be skipped. And if you want to read the magazines, it's fine. We do not have any problem. You have time, you can read them. But yes, newspaper, according to sir, is at most important. Fine. Sir, one more question. Sir, how you should write a good answer? What was your answer writing approach?
Answer writing approach would be to first read the question. What is the question demanding of you? Because nowadays earlier the questions were like just analyze, critically analyze, review those things. But now answer has 2 or 3 subparts, and you need to focus in limited words on all those 3. So instead of going for introduction and conclusion, I would say just attack whatever the question is, what it is demanding out of you. And if you can give a 1-line or 2-line introduction related to the topic while answering things, you can, but you should have a conclusion, like what you really want to say. And in the start also what you are trying to say, because sometimes the examiner may or may not have so much of time to go through whole of your answers. So starting always makes an impression, but you need to have critical points, and maybe you can underline those things, whatever you want to the examiner to focus upon while evaluating. So I think if you are writing and you have a good speed, you will get time for underlining things and revising it as well. So that's why answer writing practice is very important. Jotting down notes is important.
insert the importance of diagrams and illustrations in your answers.
I would say diagrams and illustrations are needed for certain technical questions, or where you feel if you're writing it in sentences, it would become so heavy, like evaluator may not be able to do justice to your answer. So it's maybe you can use it for certain geography or science subject answers, but it's good to write in paragraphs. And if you're finding paucity of time, maybe you can write certain items point wise, but never write all the whole of answer point wise, because generally the evaluators would be senior in age. They will be in their 50s, 40s. So they will like any person to write it cogently in a paragraph kind of style and with analysis, because in point wise your analysis sometimes may get missed.
Sir, what advice would you like to share for our Gradeup users?
For answers, I would say you should not be diplomatic. If you feel that the answer demands critical analysis or criticizing the policy or criticizing the execution, you should write in clear words, but then suggest, if possible, the alternatives also. If the answer is asking for them, it's good and best, I would say. And if you have time, please suggest alternative, because as an administrator, because you're writing this exam in order to become an administrator for government of India, so you should also have something which is out of the box, some suggestions which are practical, which can be implemented, and that would add certain value. Maybe writing certain facts and figures are always good, but more than facts, it's your analysis, your understanding of the situation which adds value to your answer.
Sir, so any last words, any last advice for our users?
I would say be consistent, have faith in yourself, give your best, and don't try to compare yourself or your progress with somebody else's progress. Keep working at a good pace and with your answer writing practice. And if you are able to join some like good coaching institutes, answer writing practice, and see how they evaluate yourself. And always try to have a positive attitude, because this exams, any kind of, not only civil service, or if you're preparing for any other different exam also, each exam needs patience, dedication, consistency, and a positive attitude of mind. If you have all these four, you will be able to sail through like even difficult exams and situations in life. But like, always have faith, never lose the faith in yourself, and don't listen to whatever people have to say or their opinions about yourself. You are the one only person who knows about yourself. So believe in yourself and just try.
Fine.
And then and one more thing, don't waste your time and age. If you have given 3, 4, 5 attempts, and if you feel like you have not been able to clear, instead of just going for UPSC, see other alternatives. If you can have some additional degrees, professional degrees, or if you can go in any other scheme. Because once, like I've seen certain candidates who become unsuccessful, they feel that everything is lost. No, this is just an exam which will give you a job, yeah, which is a prestigious job. But if you don't clear, it's not end of the life, because this exam process teaches you so many different things, values. You get to know your positive qualities, your strengths. You can always do better in life than others. So never lose the faith. Keep working hard. If you clear, it's good. If you don't clear, it's even better, because God has destined something better for you.
Yes, definitely. So guys, this was it. And see, it is simple. You need to stick to basics, that sir has said. Please stick to basics and be consistent in your preparation. So sir, it was very nice interacting with you. And I'm sure your words will certainly help our users preparing for UPSC Civil Services exam. So guys, thank you. And I will be ending with a beautiful quote. So guys, the more you sweat in peace, so guys, please do listen. The more you sweat in peace, the less you will bleed in war. And guys, UPSC is certainly a war for you. Fine. So guys, please at this time put in your full josh, full energy into your preparation. Focus upon your MCQs and answer writing. And before 2 months of your prelims exam, change your gear into prelims. So that's it for today, guys. Bye. Take care. Bye, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So guys, go grade up and please do like and share this session on each and every platform you have access to.